Oh, okay. Do you have scoring stats for football? Or another sheet? If not, I can just share yours. Okay. Check. The Knights will be looking for some big offensive plays by number 2, Adam Shine, who currently leads the team in goals with 5 goals on the season. Central takes the free kick as North tries to recover that ball, with number 5, Ethan Williams, chasing down. Number 5 for the Indians, JT Goldstein, passes the ball to number 14 for the Holt Indians. Number 21, Victor Castellanos, passes ball down the field, and as both teams trade off with possession here with 37 minutes left in the first half. Ethan Williams chasing that ball to the corner, barely keeping it in as he passes it to number 16, Taylor Elzine. Check.
Ball in favor of the Indians right around the 20-yard line. We play it short to number 4 for the Indians. The ringer tries to get it in, but that is Corey Valeroy trying to recollect it, but it goes in, and I don't know what happened in the back there. It was a bit of miscommunication between Valeroy and the rest of the defenders, but the Indian forward was there to poke it in. And with 35 minutes and 45 seconds remaining here in the first half, the Indians jump off to a warm 0-0 early lead.
Number 8, Sam Rowan, steering that ball for the Indians. Rowan currently leads the team in scoring statistics with 14 goals on the season. Indians throwing the ball in to number 3 as number 13, Nathan Holmes, battles with Jake Gresso of the Knights.
As that goes out for a goal kick in favor of the Knights. Coming into the game, as we mentioned earlier, one of the strengths for the Knights was their defense. With 3 seniors in Victor Castellanos, Thomas Bell, and Richie Taylor, there should be a lot of chemistry in the back line. But as we've seen earlier, sometimes chemistry can get a little bit overrun by simple mental mistakes, and it happened there with Bell and Valeroy. But it hasn't happened much this season. We'll see if they can rebound as they've done all season.
Number 17, Connor Murray, taking the ball down the field and passing it forward to Ethan Williams. Number 16, Taylor Elzing, trying to get ahead on that ball there. But the ball goes back to number 21, Victor Castellanos. Valeroy with the catch as he passes it to number 10, Rishi Taylor, the senior defender for this Knights team. Number 2, Adam Shine, looking for a pass there as he passes it to number 17, Connor Murray. Murray passing the ball to number 19 for the Knights. And now number 16, Taylor Elzing, works around the Indians' defense. Indians passing the ball there to number 4, Jared Ferguson, as he looks for a pass. The Knights will take a corner kick as number 9 for the Indians, Clayton Wapple, hits that ball out of bounds.
As they get ready to take the corner here, Emily, really the Knights haven't been able to muster anything up on the offensive side of the ball. Around the 50-yard line, they keep getting possession started with Adam Shine and Taylor Elzing, but none of them have been able to get past that midfield for the Indians, and they might have to rely on the counterattack, which is right here with Jay Gresso. But this defense for the Indians so far looks like a brick wall, and if the Knights can't penetrate that brick wall either through the middle or on the wings, it could be a long night. But it's still early, and as we have 31 minutes here remaining, it could go either way, as that shot comes in from Joel Arena, but it's easily collected by the goalkeeper for the Indians, number 1, Brandon Lack.
Indians trying to get another play going here as the ball is passed between number 5, JT Goldstein, and number 12 for the Indians. That ball is kicked out of bounds, and possession is given to the Knights. Valeroy chasing down a new ball as that one seemed to have gone a little bit too far out of bounds. Number 8, Joel Arena, adjusts his shin guards as he takes that throw in and throws it to the other Knights defender. Taylor there looking for some big defensive plays as the Indians struggle to get some offense going here. The ball is passed back to about the 40-yard line. Number 8, Sam Rowan, who, as we mentioned before, is a huge offensive force for the Indians, trying to get his team going and set up some goals here as we have just under 30 minutes left in the first half.
You're talking about Rowan there, Emily, and he has been a force in every single game this season. This one comes in for Jake Gressel, but that's the keeper again, Lack, cutting it down with 28 minutes remaining. But Rowan's been a force every game as he's scored in every game. He started the season off with 4 goals, and he hasn't looked back since. One of the main reasons why he continues to get these kind of stats is his midfielder, Dylan Wise. Dylan Wise has 7 assists, which leads the Indians, and if they can continue that link-up play, which has been so strong for them all season, they'll be able to expose the Knights' defense and continue adding on to that 14-goal tally. Coming off of the Knights is number 4, Josh Tanner, and number 7, Yusuf Langi. Both are seniors. And Josh is replacing Ethan Williams on that back line to try to get even more senior presence back there. And also coming off the field is Jake Guerreso. So 2 juniors coming off for 2 seniors. See if the veteran presence for the Knights can try to make their possessions a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more smoothly, as we have 27 minutes remaining here in the first half.
This veteran presence huge for the Knights as they were able to make it to the semifinals in the state competition last year. Rowan battling with number 7 for the Knights, Yusuf Langi, as the ball is passed to the back of the field. Number 13, Nate Holmes, looking to get through the defense, and number 3, Austin Wallenberg, taking that ball for the Indians. Wallenberg passing to Holmes, and this back and forth action between Wallenberg and Holmes as the Knights player number 21, Victor Castellanos, passed that down the field. Number 7, Yusuf Langi, with a bit of a breakaway. The Knights desperately trying to get through the incredible defense of the Holt Indians that they've put off throughout this first half.
Jake Teeter coming off for the Indians, and on that attack for the Knights, it looks promising there with Yusuf Langi coming down the right wing. I had an edge on the defender, but no one was in the middle. Not Langi, but Joel Arena wasn't there, and none of the forwards or the wingers. And if they want to get pressure on this defense, they got to start sending men forward, as Adam Shine here takes it around the 20-yard line and brings it back, looking for options, and plays it across to Jesus Porcinas.
Adam Shine here with the shot on goal, but that ball goes high. The goalie for the Indians, number 1, Brandon Lackey, passes that ball to number 9, Clayton Wapple. Wapple taking this goal kick for the Indians, as number 15 for the Indians tries to catch that one with his head. Adam Shine trying to move this ball around and generate some scoring opportunities for the Knights as he goes down the field with number 7, Yusuf Langi. Joel Arena working around the Indians' defenders. As the Knights will take this throw in from the 10-yard line. Number 21, Victor Castellanos, taking this throw in for the Knights, as he heads that ball, and that ball is passed to number 14, Jesus Barcenas. Knights desperately trying to push that ball more towards the goal with hopes that somebody might tap that in and get past Lackey and this strong Indians wall.
Yeah, Emily, you're talking about the really strong Indians wall, and if the Knights want to try to get past it, they might want to start establishing a wing attack with Elzine and Arena on the right and lefts. And in doing that, you can try to get the center backs to move a little bit off the strikers and Lange and Adam Shine in the central mid, and that can create open opportunities for a cross and more, and it widens the defense, and in that the Knights can get in the open space and try to attack on the goalkeeper, who hasn't had to do much so far, Lackey, but with just 22 minutes remaining here in the half, we'll see if the Knights can try to expose that Indians defense.
The Indians will take this ball back to midfield as Murillo passes the ball to number 17, Dom Smith. Taylor taking this ball from deep in Knights territory, passing it back to midfield as number 5, JT Goldstein takes that ball, pushing it back towards the Knights goal. Rowan and Shine in a bit of a tussle there as the ref calls a foul against the Knights. And the Indians will get a free kick from around the 35-yard line. Number 5, JT Goldstein takes this kick for the Indians. And a strong defensive move from number 2, Adam Shine, as Taylor Elstein gets slide tackled to the ground by number 13, Nate Holmes for the Indians. Elstein a little shaky there to get back up on his feet.
A little bit early to start handing out yellow cards, but the ref will definitely keep that in his back pocket, as a challenge like that is both dangerous to the game and the player. So we'll see if the physical play continues, and maybe we see a yellow card here as the first half winds down with 20 minutes remaining.
The Knights will now take this kick also from the 35-yard line as number 10, Richie Taylor, tries to head that ball into the goal, but the Knights are called offsides.
Goal kick taken by the Indians, and Adam Shine got on the other end of it, but it's just recollected by the Indians, and a foul's let go there. Lange tried to find Shine on the back pass, but he wasn't there. And another possession is beginning for the Indians right around the 30-yard line.
Number 7, Yusuf Lange, trying to battle through some Indians defenders as Holt moves the ball down the field. Number 3, Austin Wallenberg, tries to get that ball as it is knocked out by number 21, Victor Castellanos. Holmes taking that throw in for the Indians.
Goal kick for the Knights as Taylor Elzane comes out for Marcos Ramirez, and Senior John McManus comes in to play left wing in replacement of Joel Arena. 18 minutes now remaining here in the first half. So the Knights make 2 substitutions, both on the left and right wings, and so they might be trying to establish that wing presence as we talked about earlier.
Knights taking that free throw as it is headed out of bounds, and they will continue this possession. And a foul is called against the Knights as the Indians will take this free kick from the 30-yard line. Looks like Rowan will take this kick. And a good defensive move by Richie Taylor, the senior defender for the Knights.
The Knights seem to have a really strong advantage here on both free kicks and corners, as they have a big height advantage with Richie Taylor especially, staying just over 6'3". And when you have a guy like that to knock down throw-ins or crosses or free kicks or anything, it really limits the attack for the Indians, and it makes them have to try to get inside in a whole different way other than just trying to cross it in.
Indians looking to resettle as Rowan takes this ball and tries to pass it to number 3, Austin Wallenberg. The Indians are called offside.
A break there for the Knights as Victor Castellanos kind of lost his man there, and if number 3 for the Indians would have been able to get on the other end and stay onside, he would have had a one-on-one with Corey Valeroy, but he was offside, and there's just 16 minutes remaining now, and as Ethan Williams is preparing to come on for the Knights.
Wallenberg taking a shot on goal there as it is easily picked up by the Knights goalie, Corey Valeroy. Taylor trying to pass this ball to number 18, Marcos Ramirez. As Ethan Williams will come on for number 21, Victor Castellanos. Josh Tanner taking this throw for the Knights as he tries to throw in that ball to number 2, Adam Shine, but his throw goes a little bit long. Tanner again taking the throw, passing to number 17, Connor Murray. Williams looking for a pass and passes to number 7 for the Knights. Ooh. And that shot for the Knights goes just a big high, a great scoring opportunity, and one that we have not seen a lot of here in this first half.
Two guys who didn't even start the game for the Knights, Josh Tanner and Marcos Ramirez, connecting there. And that's the kind of thing you need from the Knights. A little bit fresher legs than everyone else on the field, and especially in the back line for the Indians. And Josh coming all the way from the back line, had a full steam of momentum, and it generated the best attack so far for the Knights. But Marcos Ramirez so close, just over the crossbar, and the first really worrying moment of the game for the goalkeeper for the Indians, Leak. 13 minutes and 30 seconds remaining.
Shine passing that ball to Barcinas and then to Josh Tanner, who kicks that ball out of bounds.
And it looks like they're taking a water break here as the temperatures are a little bit high for a mid-September soccer match. But with 13 minutes remaining here, both teams will take a break. And there's actually an injury on the field. And both teams will be taking a water break during this injury. And the clock will stop here with 13 minutes and 9 seconds remaining.
It looks like a player for the Indians is hobbling off the field right now, supported by his coaches, as the Knights try to catch a breather here in this first half and try to refocus their offense, as they let in a goal very early in the beginning of the first half.
Since the Knights had the possession during the injury, they are able to start the next session with the ball. But as you have seen, they just gave it away straight back to the Indians. With 12 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, the Indians are having another attack, and trying to get it down the wing was the winger for the Indians, but that's once again senior Richie Taylor cutting it out with the slide tackle, and it's a throw-in for the Indians to be taken by number 17, Dom Smith. 12 minutes and 20 seconds remaining here in the first half as the Indians lead 1-0.
Knights defense doing a good job there of getting them out of a bit of a sticky situation. Knights will get a free kick as Taylor passes the ball. Adam Shine passing the ball to Josh Tanner, and Tanner passing that ball back to Shine. Knights once again giving up that pass as they are forced to regroup down in their own defensive zone. Marcus Ramirez taking that pass from Tanner as Tanner will take a free throw from the 45th yard line.
Richie Taylor tried to get a possession started for the Knights, but there's a foul called against the Knights defender right around the 20-yard line, and the Indians will get a free kick almost or nearly in the box, and that'll be number 8, Sam Rowan, their leading scorer to take here with 10 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the first half.
And the big save there from the defense with a combination of Valeroy and number 10, Richie Taylor. Like you said earlier, Dom, Taylor is a huge force for the Knights due to his height, being 6'3" and able to jump up very high to defend some of these shots. Indians looking to regroup as a foul is called against the Indians.
Richie Taylor here to take the free kick, but so far the Knights' attack has been really lacking that one creative player to really pose a threat on the Indians' defense, and they brought him on with around 20 minutes remaining here earlier in the half, and John McManus, but he has not been used on that left wing very often. If they want to start trying to challenge those right backs for the Indians, they got to get him the ball, and as he can cut it in and get past as many defenders as needed. But until they get him the ball, they're still going to be stuck by that brick wall in the Indians' defense. Taylor sends the ball in. It comes all the way for the goalkeeper. Gets past him, but the back line is there to recollect. But it's a corner for the Knights with 9 minutes and 20 seconds remaining.
Ramirez looking to take this corner kick for the Knights.
Coming on for the Knights is Mateo Morales, and doesn't have that big height advantage, but he's quick in the box, and he can try to get past one of those defenders that are marking him and maybe create a hole for Richie Taylor to get into, and it was almost on his head, but it falls out to Yusuf Lengi, and it's out for another Knights corner here with 8 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Yusuf Lengi to take.
Ramirez again taking a corner kick, this time from the left side of the field. Ramirez adjusting his ball, and a huge save for number 1, Brandon Leach for the Indians. And the Indians with a breakaway as Valeroy scoops up that ball away from number 17, Dom Smith. Number 17, Connor Murray looking to get past number 10, Bryce Webling for the Indians. Ball is passed to number 20, James Hunn, as Marcos Ramirez charging down the field after taking that ball from Hunn.
You mentioned earlier the lack of attackers for the Knights on their counterattacks, and there it is again with Marcos Ramirez. Only had 2 options going forward, and Mateo Morales and Adam Shine, and they have to start sending more men forward as they're trailing, and they have to feel a little bit more pressure as they're down by 1 here with 6 minutes and 38 seconds remaining. As Jesus Barcenas tries to get an attack going around the 10-yard line, but it's booted all the way back to Richie Taylor, and he heads it back for Thomas Bell. Bell looking for options, but no one's there, so he sends it up, but only finds the waiting Indian.
Valeroy with a big slide tackle there as the Indians begin to regroup with number 19, Grant Pullman, looking for number 17, Dom Smith. Valeroy rolling the ball to Richie Taylor.
Turn over there, and here come the Indians on the counter. but staying strong for the Knights was Thomas Bell as he sends it forward looking for Mateo Morales, but that is headed away from the Indians, and here is Jesus Barcinas who wins it and gives it to Adam Shine. Connor Murray tries to get past number 8 for the Indians, and as that ball is sent forward, there is no one home for the Holt Indians, and Corey Valeroy doesn't have to break a sweat, and he'll take it for a goal kick with 5 minutes remaining here in the first half. The Knights still trailing by 1-0.
So, Dom, what are some good things that you've seen so far during this game?
Some good things for the Knights, Emily, are their defense, and that's been the case all season long. They had that little mistake earlier on with Valeroy in the back line, but ever since then they've looked a lot more strong and composed, and really the Indians have been unable to get anything past that back line, and if they can continue that, they can try to get some possessions going, but as Josh Tanner forces a throw in for the Knights, their attack is still letting them down at the moment. Neither of the strikers that have played so far have really been able to get past that back line for the Indians, and until they can start getting a little bit more pace up front and try to get past that back line, it's going to be a long remaining half for FHN, as there are now 3 minutes remaining here in the first. As that goes out for a FHN throw-in, and Yusuf Lengi gives over to Ethan Williams, who's going to take it right around the 30-yard line.
Williams looking for number 3, Mateo Morales, as Taylor tries to move that ball away from number 17, Dom Smith, who has been really pushing here towards the end of this first half. The Indians here putting pressure on the Knights defense. And a shot from number 16, Jake Teeter, is blocked by Taylor. Dom, what do you think are some strengths of this Knights defensive team?
Well, so far tonight, the defense has really only had to deal with crosses and free kicks, and as we mentioned earlier, the height of the Knights defense can really limit that attack, and as a corner comes in, it's headed away by Jesus Barcinas as the head of Richie Taylor was able to get on it, and with that height, it's really hard to beat that. But as well as counterattacks by the Holt Indians, they've been trying to get them outside, but Josh Tanner and Ethan Williams and all the other left backs and right backs for the Knights who have played tonight have really been able to limit that, and they force them to go into the middle. But in the middle waits Thomas Bell and Richie Taylor, and they can usually cut out almost every attack. And if they can continue that, they can try to get some counters going for the Knights as they're trying to get one here with Adam Shine. But Jesus Barcinas gains possession as Morales looks to give it back to him, but it ends up with the Indians, but now it's back with Morales. Morales plays it forward for Marcos Ramirez, who was waiting, got past the back line, but he was a little bit ahead of him, maybe a foot length behind the pass or the last defender, and it's offsides for the Knights. 40 seconds now remaining here in the first half.
Indians taking a free kick from the 15-yard line. as Sam Rowan looks for a pass and finds it in number 16, Jake Teeter. Tanner passing to number 23, Mateo Morales, as we have reached the end of the first half here, and the Indians lead the Knights 1-0. So how do you think the Knights could improve here in the second half, Dom?
Well, Emily, the Knights are going to have to take advantage of this halftime period and try to get their legs a little bit fresher. And as they looked a little bit tired in their attack, the defense looks composed and strong, and as we described earlier, brick wall for the Indians. And so far, none of the forwards or the wingers or anyone for the Knights have been able to get past them. And if they can take advantage of this halftime, try to relax a little bit more, and maybe up the ante, and we could possibly see a change of formation, because right now they're only playing with a one striker formation, and it's been a shift between Mateo Morales and others for the Knights, and they've all had one common struggle, and that is being a little bit alone on an island out there in the forward position. And until the Knights can start putting more men forward, and maybe a change of formation like a 4-3-3, which gives them three wingers up front, until then, we might not be able to see a Knights' strong attack, which we've been really limited to in the first half.
Be sure to join us back here at FHNtoday.com/live at 6:55 when the second half will begin.
Number 16, Jake Teeter, kicks us off to start the second half. Thank you guys again for joining us here for a Friday night soccer matchup between the Francis Howell North Knights and the Holt Indians. The Holt Indians currently lead 1-0 against the Knights.
Castellanos passing that ball to Valeroy there as Sam Rowan for the Indians passes that ball down the field. Castellanos passing to number 14, Jesus Barcinas for the Knights. Shine passing that ball to number 8, Joel Arena, as Ethan Williams looks to get past the defenders. Arena goes back to Shine as Arena hits that ball out of bounds, resulting in a Indians throw-in. Ferguson there looking for number 4, Dylan Weeds, as that ball is thrown out of bounds, and Ferguson will take another throw-in. Gresso moving past the Indians defenders as he passes a ball by number 12, Nate Murillo. A save there for number 1, Brandon Lackey for the Indians.
We talked about in the first half, Emily, how the Knights really need to start getting pressure down the wings. And right there with Jake Gresso and Joel Arena connecting, it really got past, it really worked for the Knights as they got past the right back, and it posed a threat on the goalkeeper, Brandon Leake, who has really been unchallenged all night. And looks like they continue to stress that here. That's Taylor Elzine trying to get something going on the right wing, but it was cut out quickly by the Indians. Here's Thomas Bell. Bell loses it to the Indians forward as he takes it right around the goal line, but that's Bell who recollects it well for the Knights. And it's being ruled a Indians corner to dislike of the Knights faithful. It's 36 minutes remaining here in the first half as the Indians prepare to take a corner kick.
Valeroy there taking that ball for the Knights off of the corner kick off of number 5, JT Goldstein. Taylor looking to resettle that ball as Ethan Williams looks for a pass. Williams taken down by number 17, Dom Smith.
Richie Taylor to take the free kick for the Knights. Taylor gets it on the head of another Taylor Elzine, but it goes straight off his head, 2 out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in for the Indians.
Rowan passing to number 3, Austin Wallenberg. Wallenberg looking for number 17, Dom Smith, as he continues to push past Thomas Bell for the Knights. Big save there for the goalie for the Knights, Corey Valeroy.
He hasn't really had a direct challenge on that for most of the game, but when there is one, he's usually there to make the big save, and he does it there again for the Knights. But really, the Knights' defense looked a little bit shaky there and allowed an opening for the Indians forward, but Valory was able to make the save, and the corner comes in, but it's taken care of by Thomas Bell.
Bell looking for Jake Gresso as Gresso chases that ball down the field, and the ball is passed to the goalie, number 1, Brandon Lackey. Adam Shine there with a big hit against number 5, JT Goldstein for the Indians as Joel knocks that ball out of bounds. Goldstein taking this goal kick for the Indians, and Murray taking that ball with his head for the Knights. Barcena's there for the Knights, taking a bit of a role as this game looks to be increasing in intensity as each team begins to get a little bit more physical as we have 33 minutes left in the second half.
You said that about physical, Emily, and it's really in part to since the game's getting a little bit later, we're in the second half, midway through with 32 minutes remaining, and the game in the beginning is a little bit more about pace than it is now, and as players are starting to tire out a little bit, it becomes a little bit more of a physical game than just a pace matchup, and the Knights seem to be a little bit ahead of the Indians in that category, but so far hasn't led to much, as a throw-in is rewarded to the Indians here with 32 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the second half.
This throw-in will be taken by Nate Murillo for the Knights. Excuse me, this throw-in will be taken by the Indians. Valory taking this goal kick for the Knights. Looking there for number 17, Connor Murray. Dylan Weesey passing the ball to number 4, Jared Ferguson, as Ferguson looks for number 14, Weesey once again. Gresso there trying to push past JT Goldstein there for the Indians. And a foul is called against the Indians. Looks like that foul might have been called on Thomas Bell, or for Thomas Bell. Taylor there passing the ball to Murray and then again to number 19, Thomas Bell. Victor Castellanos looking to move that ball closer to the Indians' goal, but that ball is picked up by Brandon Leak for the Indians.
That's once again the Knights trying to start something from all the way from the back, and that was Castellanos there playing it forward for Jake Gresso, but he wasn't able to get there because he's only one forward, and when you only play a one forward formation, you're only going to get possession started by sending more men up from the midfield, but they can't continue to rely on deep balls played by Thomas Bell or Victor Castellanos or Richie Taylor or any of the other defenders for the Knights. They got to start sending a little bit more men forward, and that takes more men off of Gresso and allows the strikers to have a little bit more room. As Richie Taylor here is beaten by number 17 for the Indians, and he plays it across, and that is dealt with well by Victor Castellanos as he knocks it away for an Indians throw-in.
That throw-in is taken by number 10, Bryce Woobling, as Castellanos currently battles with an Indians forward. Gresso taking that ball for the Knights as it is knocked out of bounds. Castellanos taking this throw-in for the Knights as he throws it to Taylor Elzine. Elzine passing the ball to Adam Shine, and then Shine looking for number 17, the sophomore Connor Murray. And that ball taken care of by JT Goldstein for the Indians, knocked out of the way of Jake Gresso for the Knights. Shine dodging past Rowan as number 16 for the Knights, Taylor Elzine, passes the ball to number 21, Victor Castellanos. So Dom, how do you think that this half compares to the last half for both teams?
Well, Emily, for the Knights, they're starting to look a little bit stronger on the offense. They haven't been able to truly challenge the goalkeeper, but they're still able to get a little bit more opportunities going on through the middle with Adam Shine, and then out wide with Taylor Elzine and more. And if they can continue to do that, it'll take the defensive pressure off of the Knights forwards.
Gresso looking for Shine there with that pass, but it goes long. Indians looking to settle this ball down and get some plays going here as we have 26 minutes left in the second half. Connor Murray passing the ball to Ethan Williams, and Sam Rowan looking for a breakaway, getting past Williams. But that ball is handled by Thomas Bell.
Takes a deflection off of Joel Arena, and it's a throw-in for the Indians. While the Knights have been able to get a little bit more pressure on the offense side of the ball, the Indians have been able to respond well. They've really dedicated more and more players back to try to help with the back line, and it's shown as the Indians have been able to keep this score line at 1-0.
Taylor Elzine there battling against Austin Wallenberg for the Indians. Thomas Bell taking that ball with his chest as Elzine tries to get the ball to Adam Shine. Adam Shine now pushing past number 10, Bryce Woobling, as he looks for a pass from another Knights forward. The Indians letting their goalie, Brandon Leak, take that ball as he prepares to take this goal kick. Victor Castellanos taking that goal kick as number 17, Connor Murray, tried to get to that ball, but Sam Rowan cutting him off. And a foul is called against the Knights after number 8, Joel Arena, looked like he might have tripped number 14, Dylan Weesey. Sam Rowan taking that free kick, and it is handled by number 5, Ethan Williams, for the Knights.
Mateo Morales replaces Jake Gresso, who's really had a rough night so far, but it's really been because of that strong defense for the Indians. Every time he gets the ball, there's always at least one guy on him, maybe even two. And if he's not allowed to turn around and find another option, it's going to continue to be a struggle for not just him up front, but also Mateo Morales. Also coming on for the Knights was Marcos Ramirez in replacement of Taylor Elzing, as Joel Arena looks forward for Mateo Morales.
Morales working past 2 Indian defenders, looking for number 2, Adam Shine. Shine and Morales both in a tough spot with 4 defenders upon the 2 of them. Arena working past number 14, Dylan Weesey, as the ball is passed back to Taylor around midfield. Marcos Ramirez will take this throw-in for the Knights. Correction, it looks like Victor Castellanos will take this throw-in for the Knights. Adam Shine looking for a shot, but it's blocked by number 8, Sam Rowan, as Taylor dodges past the Indians' defense. The Indians taking this throw-in as that ball was hit out of bounds by number 5, Ethan Williams. Jared Ferguson taking that throw-in for the Indians as Connor Murray works past 2 defenders and passes it to number 14, Jesus Barcinez. Adam Shine fighting past number 3, Austin Wallenberg, for the Indians as the ball is passed to number 8, Joel Arena. Arena in a tough spot here as it looks like 3 defenders are on him, as Austin Wallenberg looks for a pass down the field.
Foul call against the Knights. And we'll be seeing our first yellow tonight, and it's given against Joel Arena. It was a bit of a dangerous challenge there, but it seemed like it happened after the ball was played and the Knights won possession, but still it's a reckless challenge by Arena with 20 minutes remaining, and with both 2 feet coming off the ground, the yellow was probably earned. 40-yard line is where the free kick will be taken for the Indians. 1-0's the score with 20 minutes and 35 seconds remaining here in the first half. Coming on to replace the booked Joel Arena was senior Taylor Elzing.
Rowan looking to take this kick for the Indians with a little over 20 minutes left to go here in the second half. And that ball is once again handled by 6'3", the senior Richie Taylor. His height is such an advantage for this Knights defense. Penalty is called against the Knights as Rowan will again take a free kick from the 36-yard line.
Earlier in the game, we talked about Sam Rowan, his incredible scoring record of over 14 goals now. And it's really interesting with a player like him because he's been playing a little bit further back for the Indians. He's been in a little bit of a defensive midfield role, but he still is able to get up, and that cross comes all the way back for the winger for the Indians, but he loses possession. One of the first worrisome moments there of the half for Corey Valeroy as Adam Shine recollects it here right around the 35-yard line. I was looking for the left winger, Taylor Elzine, but the pass didn't have enough power on it, and here comes another attack for the Indians on the goal line, and that goes off of, looks like Richie Taylor, and it'll be a corner in favor of the Indians. Nope, the players were lining up for a corner, but then the ref instead rules it as a goal kick. 19 minutes remaining here in the second half.
Valeroy taking that goal kick for the Knights as Adam Shine takes his kick. Mateo Morales looking for a pass as he passes it to Adam Shine. Shine and Morales are very heavily covered by the Indians' defense. Ethan Williams passing the ball back to Corey Valeroy, who handles it after being put under a bit of pressure by an Indians forward. Williams goes down by number 2, Nicholas Thomas, and a throw-in is ruled for the Knights. The ball looks like it will be thrown in by number 5, Williams.
Emily, you talked about the high pressure the Indians have been putting on the Knights forwards and midfielders and everyone. And sometimes in soccer, you'll see defenses play a little bit more conservative. They stay in the back, and they let the forwards come to them, but they can hold their line, and they don't let someone get past them. But with this Indians team, every time the Knights get the ball, they always put pressure on them immediately, as that's Josh Tanner with a little bit of a dangerous challenge there, but he knocks it away. Ball comes back in, and it's taken by Sam Rowan, but he sends it almost through the field goal hoops or posts, but it goes out for a goal kick for the Knights.
Valeroy once again taking a goal kick for the Knights as Murray passes the ball to Victor Castellanos. Shine getting a little tripped up there as number 10 for the Indians, Bryce Woobling, passes the ball to number 8, Sam Rowan. Taylor Elzine looking for number 2, Adam Shine there with that pass, and he once again looks for another Knights forward as the Indians will take this throw in from about the 10-yard line.
Almost every attack for the Knights has been centered around number 2, Adam Shine for the Knights, and he's been probably the most creative player of the night for FHN. And if they can continue feeding him the ball, he continues to get past defenders and running through him and finding the open man, even though that pass for Marcos Ramirez was had a little bit too much on it. He's still been their most creative player, and if they can continue getting him the ball and going forward, sending guys like Mateo Morales and Connor Murray, they can continue to put pressure on the solid back line of the Holt Indians. 15 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the second half as the Knights trail by 1-0 to the Holt Indians.
Castellanos looking for Mateo Morales there with that throw in, but looks like he threw it a bit too long. Castellanos again taking the throw in, this time looking for number 14, Jesus Barcinez. That ball is handled by the Holt defense as they look to make a push down the field. Taylor with a diving save there as the ball is passed to number 2, Adam Shine. Shine and Ferguson there battling it out as a penalty is called against Adam Shine. The Indians will take this free kick from the 45th yard line. Morales passing the ball there to number 16, Taylor Elzine. Elzine weaving through the Indians' defense as he passes the ball back to number 14, Jesus Barcinez. Josh Tanner passing the ball to Adam Shine as Shine looks for a pass or something to get this offense going here as we have 13 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second half.
Mickey Asega coming on for the Knights to replace Mateo Morales at the striker position. Mickey provides a little bit of pace up front that the Knights can try to start using a little bit more of, as they haven't been able to get it working tonight. And with the pace of Asega, they can try to play a little bit more through balls in from Adam Shine or Taylor Elzine and try to find Elzine, or Asega rather, behind the defensive line. 13 minutes remaining now here in the second half, as a foul is called against the Francis Al North Knights in favor of the Indians, and they'll be taking this free kick right around the 30 or the 40-yard line.
JT Goldstein for the Indians prepares to take this kick. The Indians putting some pressure here on the Knights defense, but that ball is handled by the senior Taylor Elzine for FHN. The Indians will take a corner kick with just under 12 minutes left here in the second half. And great defensive moves from Taylor as Valeroy catches that ball. No problem for him. James Hunn, they're battling against number 18, Marcos Ramirez. Shine looking to get past number 10, Bryce Woobling, as Woobling goes down. Taylor Elzine passes the ball to Murray, and Murray returns the ball to Thomas Bell. And a foul is called in favor of the Knights. Richie Taylor there tying his cleat as he prepares to take this kick from the 49th-yard line. Leet there rising up above the clump of Indians and Knights players, as Leet, looking a little shaky, will prepare to take this goal kick. So Dom, what do you think the Knights need to do to get their offense going here as we reach under 10 minutes left in the second half?
Emily, the Knights might want to start moving Taylor Elzine and Marcos Ramirez, their left wingers and right wingers, up to accompany Mickey Asega up front, as the Indians have like 3 defenders back there, and if they can put 3 forwards up there, they have a distinct advantage there. But with a free kick like this to take time off the clock for the Indians, the Knights are really gonna have to start getting a little bit more pressure and get this free kick taken clear of immediately. To go along with the wingers, they need to also take advantage of Asega's pace. And with Adam Shine right here, if he can try to play it through for Asega, who's trying to go out wide, and he's got it past the defender, and he tries to get it through, but the center back for the Indians takes care of it. Here's Elzine, tries to spin around, but it's taken care of by Connor Murray around the 30-yard line. Murray waiting for his options to open up. Here's Josh Tanner. Tanner looking for Elzine, but both go down, and it looks like nothing will be called there. And here comes a counter for the Indians, but something happened right around the 40-yard line as the Indian has gone down, and it looks like it'll be a free kick in favor of the Knights, or of the Indians rather. 8 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, as it looks like Yusuf Lengi is coming on for the Knights.
Yellow card is called against Taylor Elzine, as it looked like he might have taken down or tripped the Indians forward. Goldstein steadying himself as he prepares to take this free kick. The Indians looking to go up here 2-0 as we near the end of the second half. And that ball is handled by Victor Castellanos for the Knights as Adam Shine pushes forward and the Indians defense comes running after him. Shine passing to Yusuf Lengi, and Lengi looking there for Mickey Asega, but was not able to reach him.
That about sums it up there for the Knights tonight. They've been getting close. They've been putting pressure on the back of on the goalkeeper, but not directly. And it happened there again with Asega getting past the defender and almost had a one-on-one with League, but again it goes out, and there's too much power on the end of the ball as Asega now comes off for Mateo Morales. So they're trying to go with a little bit more creative look up front instead of the pace, as the pace hasn't really been able to work out for the Knights. But to be fair, not much has. 7 minutes and 45 seconds remaining here in the second half. The Knights still looking for their first goal of the game and trying to reward the outstanding work in the back line and in the goalkeeping position by Corey Valeroy and the rest of the defense. 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Marcos Ramirez goes down there for the Knights, and it's a free kick rewarded to FHN around the 50-yard line. Richie Taylor's big boot will get the free kick here, and he'll wait for his options to get into the box.
Taylor sends that ball wide down the field as Mateo Morales looks to settle it. Morales looking for Shine there with that kick, but unfortunately goes a little bit too long as Sam Rowan sends the ball down the field to Dom Smith. both players go down there at the end of the field.
There's already a foul on the play, and then the Indian defender just recklessly and cluelessly knocks down the winger for the FHN. There could be a serious moment here for for the game itself, as the refs are conversing and deciding what kind of punishment is deserving for the Indians defender.
Valeroy for the Knights there stepping in to break some tension between the Indians as Knights players. It looks like an Indians player is down on the field. A red card there is called against the Indians. It looks like it might have been called against number 16, Jake Teeter.
In the process of that, Thomas Bell also comes out for the first time today. He may have been the one that was given the yellow card for the Knights. Almost a penalty kick. If it was just a couple of feet over to the right, it would have been a penalty kick in favor of the Indians, but it'll be a free kick right outside the box for Sam Rowan and the Indians with 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining now here in the game. Rowan's free kick comes in, but it's blocked by the Knights defender, and it comes back in, but it's a huge save there by Richie Taylor on the line to keep it out for the Knights. 4 minutes now remaining. The Knights are starting to send more men forward as Mateo Morales leads the counterattack, looking for Marcos Ramirez. He gets past the defender. Ramirez continues his run, and as well as three. in the middle, Adam Shine and Yusuf Langi. Comes out for Jesus Barcinez, but that is saved by the keeper Leak. 3 minutes and 55 seconds now. The strongest effort so far in the second half for the Knights, and they need to continue this pressure here with time dwindling down. 3 minutes and 45 seconds now remaining.
Connor Murray passing the ball there to number 4, Josh Tanner. Tanner pushing past the Indians defense, but unfortunately knocks that ball out of bounds. Jared Ferguson taking this throw in for the Indians, as that ball is knocked out of bounds. Number 14, Dylan Weesey, just barely outside of that line, and a throw-in will be awarded to the Knights, taken by number 4, Josh Tanner. Tanner there looking for Mateo Morales, as that ball is knocked out of bounds, and the Knights are awarded another free kick taken by Tanner. Tanner looking for Shine there with that throw. As Morales tries to take the throw, he is taken down by an Indians defender, and no penalty is called.
Looks like the Knights had a strong claim there as Morales was pulled down right outside the box, and would have been a direct free kick. That could have been strong effort for the Knights, but with 2 minutes and 13 seconds remaining, nothing was rewarded, and instead it's a throw-in in favor of the Indians.
Valeroy with a sliding save there, a huge save for Valeroy against number 3, Austin Wallenberg. Dylan Weesey looking for a forward down deep in Knights territory, but he goes a bit wide as Valeroy takes this goal kick for the Knights. The Knights putting on here intense pressure as we have reached the minute marker at the end of the second half. The Knights only need to score 1 goal to tie the game and have it go into overtime.
Sam Rowan kicks it all the way down the field, try to take some time off the clock as Josh Tanner throws it in, looking for Adam Shine. Adam Shine heads it to the striker Mateo Morales, but it comes back to Yusuf Langi, but then that is Connor Murray taking it. But the Indians are able to clear all the way down the court. Valeroy, 35 seconds remaining here as he kicks it straight up, and Jesus Barcinez was looking for it, but instead ends up with the Indians. Ball played forward, Thomas Bell. Rather, Ethan Williams gets on the end of it. 20 seconds remaining, and he goes down. It's going to be a free kick for the Knights, but they got to hurry up here. Williams sends it up for, looked like Adam Shine, but he was not there. And that one goes out for a throw-in, and with just 7 seconds remaining, this will take enough time off the clock, looks like, for the Indians.
And the bell sounds with the Indians taking the win over the Knights. Dom, what do you think the Indians did well here in this game?
Emily, the Indians throughout the entire game never really stopped being composed on defense. They were strong through every through ball play, every corner, every free kick. They stayed composed, and nothing was able to get past them, and that really limited the Knights' attack. And even despite the strong defensive effort and goalkeeping effort by Corey Valeroy and the Knights' defense, with that struggling attack, they weren't able to get past the Indians' back line, which led to only their 3rd loss of the season.
And thank you for tuning in to today's stream. Our next stream will be on the 21st, which is girls volleyball versus Troy. My name's Emily Hood, here with my co-anchor Dominic Kocher.